You can count on it. You can count on it. You can count on me. You can count on me too. You can count on it. You can.
So, you know.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Welcome
to the 3 Oak Podcast, where even the artists can be fans. AJ the Menace.
Big Champagne.
And Cherry TNT.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 90. I don't know what episode this is. It doesn't really matter, but we do have a special guest. Lady London is in the building. Everybody breathe. We want to welcome you to Raleigh, North Carolina. This your first time here?
No,
You come here all the time?
not all the time.
But this is definitely a spot you've been before.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Well, that's what's up. So, look, we just going to start from the beginning. We like to dive deep at the 3 Oak Podcast, and then we're going to jump into the current careers and where you want everything to go from this point, you know? Exactly the stuff that you want to talk about. So, let's start with where you from. Where you born and raised?
I grew up between New York and New Jersey. I spent a lot of my childhood in the Bronx, and then I moved to Jersey, and, you know, so basically both. Then I did undergrad in D.C. at Howard University, woo-woo.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
I did
Okay,
grad
and
school
you?
at USC in L.A., my master's, so.
Okay. So, you was, so what was your upbringing like going back and forth between, like, New York and Jersey?
Pretty cool. I grew up around the music industry mostly.
Okay, so you came up in the music industry.
Yeah, not as an artist, obviously, but just around, like, you know.
A family member.
Family
like,
members, yeah, exactly.
somebody close to you who was the person that was close in your family that was, like, in the music industry?
My father and my uncle, both of them.
Got you. Okay. So
Yeah.
you had your mom and your dad growing up?
Not really. My father wasn't really there as I got older, but, you know.
Got you.
He lived in
Okay.
New York. My mom lived in Jersey. So.
Okay. So, like, what kind of music was they playing back then?
Oh,
in the
man.
house?
My mother was a huge Jay-Z fan, which is why I'm a huge Jay-Z fan.
Got you,
So it was
okay.
like a big, like, you know,
This is just passed down.
KRS-One, Rakim, Raekwon.
Yeah.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? So all my favorite artists, Big L. You know what I mean? That's the type of stuff that I listen to now.
Okay, that's hard. Yeah, and then you've always developed your passion for, like, doing music because it was always around you?
No, I avoided music for a long time because I think for my father and my uncle, I don't think it really ended well for them. You know what I mean? As far as, like, the logistics of things. And
Yeah,
I was always
yeah.
scared to see what it might come to for me. So I was away from that. I got both my degrees in medical sciences, so I wasn't really even in the music scene at all. But I always wrote poetry.
Got you.
So-
When did the poetry start?
I probably, like, maybe 11 years old, like, really started taking poetry seriously. I spit my first rap when I was 5.
Yeah, I was about to say, I did see
Yeah,
that.
I
But you
spit
still
my first rap
didn't.
when I was 5. I do. I don't want to say it, but I remember it. But yeah, like, as far as, like, really writing and, like, knowing what I was writing, 11 probably.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That ain't that bad then. All right. And then, did you always have, like, the same rap name or
No,
what was the first one? We always love to hear the
the
first one.
first one was Queen, actually. Before it was Lady, it was Queen.
That could have worked too, I guess. then,
Yeah,
right?
it would have
yeah.
worked, I
Yeah.
guess. But
Yeah.
as I got older, a lot of, like, my ex-boyfriends and everybody around me would call me Boss Lady. Everybody would be like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, Boss Lady? like whatever. So that's kind of where Lady came from. And London is inspired by Lauren London.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I see the dimples.
Yeah, it was when I had blonde hair in high school. Everybody's like, "Oh, you look like her. You got, like, y'all similar looking." So I'm like,
Did you
whatever.
transition to the Nunu where everybody called you Nunu? at one
No,
point?
literally, people would walk by me like, "Rashad, like, you don't get out of here."
I can definitely see that. You look a lot like Aaliyah too.
I
know
get
you that all
both
the
of them.
time,
I
yeah.
get both of them.
Yeah, you know what? My other homeboy, who's usually the co-host here, Big Champagne's filling in for him.
Okay.
He was like, yeah, I did some research on Lady London. You know what I'm saying? Tell her I'm sorry I can't be here. She looks like Aaliyah and she got bars, so I fuck with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, in and out, you know? So,
Right. Rest
Yeah.
in peace.
especially in that little in the video where you were talking about rapping at 5. You
Yeah.
definitely look like that was, yeah, you definitely look like it then. So now you went to D.C. to go to Howard.
Yeah.
How special is D.C. to you?
So special. It's like a second home. Honestly, I think when I get to a point financially, I would love to have a place in D.C., like a permanent place that I, you know, just for myself. It's a small city. It's a home away from home. And every time I go home for homecoming, it feels like, you know,
Oh, it just feels like
homey.
you're back.
It's just like, yeah, it's like the Mecca home
Is
place.
there a reason that you even went down there? Was there like, did you just pick that school, or was it they just accepted you? You're like,
So I got
I'll
accepted
go.
into 8 schools out of college. I mean, out of high school.
Yeah.
7 of which with scholarships, 1 of which would not. And you could guess the one that didn't give me a scholarship was Howard, actually.
oh,
Howard
wow.
didn't give me a scholarship, but I wanted to go to HBCU, and Spelman was my next choice. But I was like, on the fence of going to Atlanta. I was like, I kind of want to be able to go home when I want
That's
to.
a fact,
because
you like 5
I don't
hours
know.
if you in.
Yeah, 4 hours give or
Yeah.
take from home. So I was like, I don't know. And I ended up picking Howard, and I ended up getting a scholarship outwardly anyway. And it's funny because I got a scholarship from the Sean Carter Foundation.
Ah.
Wow,
yeah.
that's beautiful.
Yeah, so Jay-Z, I feel like we just, we together.
It's gonna happen at some point.
Some
All them
shit.
things keep happening.
Right.
What's the name? Damn, what was I about to ask? It was about to be about DC, but like, why is it so special to you? Like, you feel like you really learned who you were. I know it seemed like you found your spirituality there too.
Definitely. It was a lot going on in my life when I was in college. I was finding myself, and there was a lot of family issues that were going on with me. And I think, like, a lot of shit happened in my personal life that kind of made me really... I grew up in Islam, so, like, for me...
My dad's Muslim.
Yeah. So, for me, I never really felt connected to it, so to speak. It just was, what was my upbringing.
Yeah.
But even then, so I don't know, it was this one day where I just was, like, fell to the ground and was like, yo, God, help me, like... God, because
did you fall back on Islam or
no? Because
Christianity?
in Islam, it's said to be in the Quran that it's a sin to pray in English or not to pray in Arabic. Prayers that are not in Arabic don't reach Allah. And I can only say my prayers. I don't know how to say God help me with rent. I don't know how to say that. So I think that's the part when I would say I got like saved and went into my like spirituality. I'm not very religious, but I'm very spiritual.
You definitely
very spiritual.
Okay, so I remember the question I wanted to ask you. The scholarships that you were getting, were those for academics or were they were academics?
Yeah, I had academic scholarships. Yeah.
Okay, so you've always been that's why they called you boss lady. You was always just like out here running on it.
Yeah, definitely always smart in school. It was always the behavior side. I think that was always like my mom was like, "Yo, how are you an A student and this side of your report card looks like you don't work well with others, you don't follow directions." Like,
okay, yeah, I was about to ask
you?
them, are you the kid that was like, they're like, she's such a bright student, but she just always talks during class?
Not talks during class, but one of those that she's like, she does what she wants to do.
Ah, okay.
Like I used to say that when I was young, I do what I want to do. I do what I want to do. So. And
that's how you've been moving out here in these streets?
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's what's up, though. Let me see. Hold on. You started and then you really just started the music career. Let's just, we can go up to the music stuff now. So you really just started going hard in 2018?
Yeah, I started rapping in March 2018.
What?
So I've always
so we're talking about
poetry.
you had the poetry in between.
I always wrote poetry since 11, right?
So you was always sharpening it.
But I could not rap on beat to save my life. I know people probably don't believe that shit now, but
yeah.
But in March, I remember dropping this freestyle and it went viral, went 8 million views and went crazy.
The one you in a car?
I'm in a car, but it's acapella. It's no beat behind it,
one.
right? And everybody was like, "Yo, you need to rap. You need to rap. Put it behind a beat." And I was like, that's cool, I could do that. And I put it on the beat, and I could not catch the pocket. I just could not do it. And I went to my brother's house, and I was like, yo, can you help me learn how to rap? And he was like, I can't teach you how to rap. You got to know. And I mean, if you really see my first videos, which are not out anymore, but it's horrible. And so I really gauged my flow July. I would really say July, I really started being like, oh, yeah, can't nobody touch me with this. Nobody,
July of 2018.
2018.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so you kind of stick with the same format. You'll drop the videos, but do you like that format where you're just it's just you chilling, you in the car, you somewhere, pull the camera out and just go?
I'm versatile, I've been in the studio, I got a project coming, so it's it's not just that, but that is a high comfort zone for me. I love just freestyling, I love ciphers, but that's because I grew up listening to stuff like that.
The artists that you was listening to, or at least your parents and everything in the house. Okay. And then I know you, when Nipsey passed, I want to know what did Nipsey and Lauren London mean to you? You know what I'm saying? Because I know you had a lot to say. So
yeah, I mean, Nipsey as an individual, he really set the blueprint for a lot of new artists, because we all seen Jay do it, and we all seen certain pioneers of the game, Master P, people that really took back their community and built up. But he really took it to a whole nother level where he was still in the community, very hands on. It really, I don't know, it hit me like it was blood of my own loss when he passed away. As far as him and Lauren, I've always respected their love for one another, because it was private but not secretive. It was it's us, and everybody knows it's us, but everybody, my lifestyle is public, but my private life is private. You know what I mean? And I have a great respect for that as a woman who just, even in my most serious of relationships, 4 years, 5-year relationships, it's never been a social media spectacle. It's just
it's
us, it's just being you, and that's that.
That's the first thing out of ruin a relationship.
That's the first thing that'll ruin
That'll
it.
ruin
I don't
it,
think
yeah.
people get that.
Yeah,
You know
I
what
don't think
mean? Like,
it's really simple.
It's so much other things that you got that happens within a relationship that people argue about and stuff that social media just catapults into a whole other thing. So
yeah, because I've definitely seen the people who like. There's like certain people like I know if I go to their page they gonna flame their spouse or their girlfriend or boyfriend,
or when they're done, they delete the pictures and all that. It's like
bad extra. No, they only archive it because then they just take it back off of archive when they're done. You know what I'm saying?
That archive filter changed the game, but it was certain people that was deleting pictures that was up for 2 years. Now you can't get it back, like because you had an attitude for a day. Like, what's the problem?
Yeah, that's kind of goofy, man. I don't get it, but hey, look, man, single life, I'm out here moving and shaking. That's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? Like, but what's the name? Let me see. So. You, what the fuck? Boy, I done drew a couple blanks. Hold on.
What about your book? Talk about your book.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my book. That's interesting. So I wrote a book in 2017. I started in November 2016. I finished it May 11th, 2017. I dropped it on the 13th anniversary of my grandfather's death.
Okay.
It's an urban novel. It's about a young girl who grew up in a foster care system in West Philadelphia. She ended up moving to L.A. She graduated from HBCU, moved to L.A., and met and fell in love with a drug kingpin and didn't know what he was, and was exposed to both the perks and the downfalls of what that came with.
Yeah, with that lifestyle,
Yeah, so that's the first book. It's called Truth, and it's available on Amazon, on Kindle. And I had hard copies. They just sold out, but I plan on restocking, and the second book comes out. And it's based on the main character of the first book, and it talks a little bit about his life and the drug dealer and how he got into what he got into. So it's definitely good.
You see something like that? Do you see the books that you're writing becoming into shows and
one movie specifically? I would want to combine them into one movie.
What inspired the book?
I initially wanted to write a self-help book for women turned hustlers turned made women. To understand, how to walk through life. But I felt like I hadn't reached the pinnacle that I intend to reach eventually. And I don't think that you can give directions to a place you've never been. Okay. So for me, I wanted to wait to do the self-help book. I will eventually, but fiction kind of took me into my own realm of different reality. I wanted to get an escape from my own shit going on. So I started
it makes it a little bit easier to write about too. When you can make up the aspects of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Full creative control.
Yeah, because the self-helps is like you really got to live life with it.
One of your bars, you were speaking about basically how pretty women don't beef with you.
Right.
How it's always the anti-pretty women.
That's a good word.
Anti-women who beef with you. Do you find that is truly the case, that it's really the ones who you force them to look at this stuff and be like, wow, I'm really a bum out here in this world, and look at her. She's got degrees, and she can rap, and she can write a book, and she can fly, and she's made out of apple pie, and her nails are a color I've never seen before. I mean, just saying. So, is it true that, like Fab said, that the Babs live, rest in peace, the Stankos? Is it really the ones who like, are they really giving me that much trouble?
I think so. I think they find their own insecurities and they deflect them on other people, especially like I've never had an issue with a girl who like was comfortable with herself. Like a beautiful girl who was fine and comfortable with herself. It's always been more so like, salute sis, like you everything, girl. Like, you know what I'm saying? I always say to my friends, you're not a bad bitch until you still a bad bitch in a room full of bad bitches. Like, it's like not
automatic
bars. Yeah, because that is one thing that I like about your music. It's like you've taken the role of being like the spokesperson for the confident woman. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, absolutely. And that's like dope. So like, I would say, is there like a woman in that was in your life that like you looked at it, you were like, that's why I want to do that. If that makes sense.
My mom is a big inspiration, but I think I get a lot of my bravado from my mom. My mom's very confident in who she is and how she is, and so she's very like steal the room. You know what I mean? Not intentionally, just she has that infectious smile, like, hi everyone, how are you? Like, good morning. If no one's gonna say it to me, I'll say it to everyone. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I like those ladies. Yeah, just the energy is great. Like everybody's like, yo, your mom's like your mom. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's from her really, but I'm a lot of it is just my own thing, Your
own confidence that you found within yourself, and then you're just trying to teach everybody else. Is your mom from New York?
Yeah.
Born and raised like straight Bronx?
Jersey.
She back and forth as well too?
Yeah,
Got you. So like when it comes to musically, I know you got the EP that you're gonna be putting out soon. What are some of like the Do you have like the feeling for it, the name?
Yeah,
You know
so
what you're kind of going for with that?
The EPs is a work in progress. It's so much different than anything I've ever done. One, because songwriting is a lot different than actual freestyling.
That's a fact.
And I think a lot of people don't understand that. Some people don't get it. I do. I'm very specific with my craft. It's gonna be 5 songs. And this EP is called The Missing Piece, which I think I am to the game to an extent. And that's why you see like the puzzle pieces and stuff like that.
Right.
It's kind of like my new thing. And yeah, I think it's gonna be fine.
How far deep into it? I'm sure you're over recording, right? Or you're going right for the 5?
I'm over recording for sure.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, I'm probably gonna do about 15 to 20 songs and then pick from those. But I'm very like, anal about stuff. Even my engineers are like, yo, don't be so hard on yourself, like relax. But it's a lot of writing on this, major labels, major people, major artists, and a lot of people are waiting for it. So
what type of production are you leaning towards like on this you going like live instruments, or you going more boom bappy production?
It's a lot of versatility in the project overall. It's a lot of minor key songs, some very few major key songs. For people who don't know engineering like that, minor keys more like the melodic, like low, and major keys like that upbeat, like tempo, which is not. If it's my thing, I'm talking shit. You know me. If I'm getting on a major key, I'm talking
stunting,
shit. But minor key, I'm trying to get some. I want music to be felt again.
Right.
I don't want you to hear it. I want it to be like a, damn, I got that feeling. I remember I could take myself back to a time with that.
Yeah.
So it's been about a year.
Yeah.
Have you seen the circle or the team begin to flake off? Have you seen those? Were there any, loose people that were barely connected to you or there for the wrong reasons that have been weeded out? Or has the circle that you picked going into that year, was it solid enough to still be the same at this point?
I would say it was more so the latter, but what I will say is that a lot of people have tried to join the bandwagon. One thing about me is I'm huge on energy and vibes and synergy and just the whole, how people are with themselves. But I've noticed that people that have known me for years are now reaching out like, damn, we got to work. When I've been talented for X amount of time and, you had opportunities to work with me when I had 9,000 followers and, you know what I'm saying, whatever. Now I'm at 116K and it's like, oh, and I'm on every podcast and every thing.
Yeah.
Now it's, oh, we got to work. I don't like opportunists because I think everything it can't be beneficial to you. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
That's really corny, so.
Yeah.
I hope your opportunity don't knock the opportunist in your group. That's a Nipsey line.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I have direct experience with that where it's like we've been playing in the mud for quite a while, bro. I was trying to get you down here, you know what I'm saying? But now that shit is starting to like shake off and look clean. Don't try to pull up now.
But you know what? People want people to tell them what to like. That's the thing. They want the world to tell them what they supposed to like. That's way
true.
They can go and support it after the world tells them it's okay to support.
Yeah.
That's why I always like when I talk to people that are fans of me now, I'm always like, yo, I'm here at this nightclub tonight, come out. If you're gonna come out, speak to me. Tell me that we had this conversation so that I can speak to you back and I don't look like I'm higher than what I am. Because right now I am okay in media wise, but I'm barely scratching the surface. It's gonna get a lot crazier than this, and I want to remember the people that was here from jump. Right.
Do you feel like do you feel the same like with your hometown? Like you have 2 hometowns kind of, but like do you feel like the love came from the hometown after you got it when you left?
No, the hometown been supporting. They've been supporting for quite some time, I would say. It's great. I feel great energy all around for the most part. It's usually just very few people that come in every now and again, and I'm like, man, get out of here. Like, who are you? Since when?
Especially when stuff is moving that fast, they can't even catch you to even like. Yeah. And if it does get that close, and then it deflects away, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But
Jersey, New York's always showed mad love.
Yeah.
LA, DC, everywhere that I've lived has always showed mad love.
That's dope. And then you were in the bartending scene too a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So you probably had crazy connections off of that just alone, right? Just knowing a lot of people or people always knowing you at least. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's definitely, it helps your social skills, I think, when you bartend because you got to interact with a lot of people. I think people be like artists, but they socially awkward and they can't hold a conversation or they can't, like, everything's very like, yes, I do music. Like, I'm pretty social for the most part.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. One of the lyrics that you did have that I thought was hard was, "I'm only lyrical when I'm living through what I'm talking about." Like, explain that one.
Yeah, I think a lot of people pump fake and rap in records, and I say that on a lot of tracks. You know, like a lot of capping on beats, a lot of, you know what I'm
you
saying?
do,
Like,
you do, you be checking, motherfucker.
It
Yeah,
is
yeah,
because
yeah.
it's a lot of a lifestyle that you didn't live. You know what I mean? And I'm not that girl. I'm not gonna say nothing that I haven't done. You know, and even if I talk about some. I don't know if I say anything criminal, it's not to indict myself. It's on some shit like, yo, for
It's just-
real,
it's just
like
what it
in
is.
real life. You
This
know,
is what really
like,
happened.
So yeah, I'm definitely living what I've been through. And before that, the line was like, you know, like I done slept in parking lots. My living room's a parking spot. Like
Yup, yup.
I have in real life. You know,
Yeah.
unfortunately, but it that's the truth.
There's a moment, yeah.
Yeah.
When I listen to your music, a bar you said, basically, I'm growing, I'm a garden. I
Yeah.
think that really personifies you. I think it personifies how humble you are,
Thank you.
yet very high up. You're like, I think you said, I know I'm here, but I'm going to let you know that I'm here still.
Yeah.
And to me, that's what gives the dopeness of your vibe.
Thank you.
Because you're like, hey, I know my worth,
Right.
but I am a person.
I'm
And
a
that's-
child of God.
and that's-
It's
and
God
that's-
first.
and that's
God
the
give it, you can
crazy-
take it back. That's just how I feel. So I know it's never to get big headed about nothing. Everything that is given to you. My mother used to say, "Don't treat people bad because the same people you see on the way up, the same people you see coming back down."
Yeah.
That is,
So it's
yeah.
like you got to be careful because one day it'd be like 250,000 in the card, and the next day you got you know food stamps. You like
Right.
you know,
Yeah, you with that
what's
Honda
going
Civic.
on? You know.
yeah, yeah.
I feel that. Can you explain the significance of 13?
Oh man, that's it goes so much back. So it starts at my grandfather. My grandfather, that was like his number. He was born March 13th. My mother was born in 76. 7 plus 6, 13. I was born in 94. 9 plus 4, 13. I was born 6/25, 94. 6 plus 2 plus 5, 13.
Wow.
6 plus 25 is 31. The inverse of that is 13.
Oh, wow.
My mother got the 13 tattoo.
saw that
her.
on your
Yeah,
Instagram.
my mom has a big ass 13, obnoxious tattooed on her. She got it when she was 23. I got mine on my leg when I was 23.
Okay.
My sister's getting hers this year. My grandfather had his, you know. So it's just it's big. It's a number of lawlessness and rebellion. The epitome of my being. I went to school, as you know, for medical sciences, and I'm a rapper now. It's like, what are you doing, girl? I don't know. It's like you never know. So
Yeah.
it's always associated with bad luck, but for me, I've always had great luck with it, and I see it everywhere too. It like follows me.
Yeah.
I think you just named your album, maybe. 13.
Ooh, I might have just said it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You might have just
that's
really
always
alluded
that's
to
always
it.
been it. I didn't want my first project to be called it because it's such a big thing for me.
Yeah, yeah. You need to
but,
wait for that first big one.
You
Yeah.
know, like I just expected, like even speaking about Nipsey's Victory Lap supposed to come out in 2009.
Right.
Facts.
He
Oh man, I loved how
perfected that
Yeah.
album. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think that's the way. If I'm gonna release something with 13 and that's my brand on it, that's my label name.
Right.
I would
Yeah.
want it to be,
Definitely.
you know,
Yeah.
I love that.
crazy.
Yeah, one of the I think it'd be a good time to ask that question that you had about the freestyling. Considered
Oh yeah, so
That's
I
I
have a lot
that
of friends
question.
that rap or in the rap scene, and a lot of question that gets thrown around a lot is if you are not predominantly a freestyle type of rapper, would you still consider yourself an MC? So a lot of people think that you rap, but if you can't freestyle, can you really call yourself a rapper?
Yes, you can.
Absolutely.
Like, absolutely. What? If you don't freestyle, it doesn't make you not a rapper. It just means that you're not very good at improv, which a lot of people aren't.
Exactly.
I'm really not that good at improv. I can because I have, again, bravado is like one of my favorite words to use because it is me.
Yeah.
But I have that, like, you know, like that swag where at the end I'm just, if I'm ever laughing at the end of my free, it's because I just made that up. Like, I don't, like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. But it's not for everybody. I think what makes an MC is content, is actual lyricism. So if you can't call yourself an
Agreed.
MC if all you do is mumble rap, those are not MCs in my
Exactly.
opinion.
I
But
agree.
when you have a message and it's clear content, you're an MC whether you wrote it down or you didn't.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, a lot of rappers who do freestyle say that because they can't write. Like, writing is not,
facts.
everyone can't write. Like,
Right. It's
a lot of
hard.
people can freestyle, write rhymes together. I can think of 3 rhymes in my head right now, and rap. But when it comes to
Right.
a pen and pad, like, what can you really do? Can you really produce content, like you said?
Right.
I think that's really...
The
I
mumble
think it is
rapper
out
thing,
here.
doesn't it seem like they kind of got exterminated out? Are there any?
No,
No, they
they're
did
all
not.
over.
Are you
They're
kidding
all
me?
Over. They're just spraying the game, and it's
Yeah.
cool because it's for right now. It's music
Yeah.
for right now, and it's great. It's selling. It's the market right now, but. What happens in 10 years, you know? I miss the records that come on from 2007, and I'm like, oh, this is
Yeah.
that shit. Like, turn it up. You know, we're talking transcending a generation. Like,
It all seems like it's here though. for me personally, just because, I don't know, maybe because, you know, now that we don't have to be slaves to the radio, we can tailor our own type of music. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it always seems like it's already wet itself out. Because when like the Lil Pumps and stuff were coming in, I would say like the SoundCloud generation. I guess that's what I consider like mumble, because I didn't understand what they were saying. But then I feel like they all kind of like exterminated themselves out personally.
Okay, I can see the Generation X that you're mentioning mumble itself out, but it's still, and I won't name them obviously, but they're like right here in mainstream. They're like in our face every day, mumble rappers that have great melody. So it's catchy. It's something you want to listen to in a club. It's something you want to listen to in a car. But
because there's time and place for everything.
You listen to like real music, and you like, dang, I've been there. Dang, I feel that. I went through that. It's different.
Do you think that mumble rap is much like it was 10 years ago when a lot of the trap and rap come out? Do you think it's a ploy by the industry to rob music of its consciousness? I think music is the message. It gives a message to people. Like slaves, they sung. You know, if you think about it in history, songs convey a message. So, like right now, J. Cole. Shout out to J. Cole.
Shout out to Cole. Dreamville.
Bringing the message. You yourself, you bring a message. Do you think that the industry is propping up these mumble rappers to rob music of its consciousness?
I never thought of it from that angle, but that's a great point. Quite possibly. I believe a lot of the white man's agenda is against us. That's my opinion. They might kill me for it too, but I do think so.
It's what it is.
I really do think so. I don't know if music specifically, but I do know that as most things, it is a white-dominated industry on the bigger upper scales.
Right.
The entertainment industry, in general. And so maybe that might be it, but I think everything is about $1 at the end of the day. So I think it's what sells. This is what these people... The drug culture is extremely at its high right now. You know, I grew up on the drug dealers. Now we have the drug abusers. And so it's like... The dichotomy between the two is just like, you know, it's expected. If your mind is on lean all day, do you want to hear something that you could dissect and go buy back your block and go do this, that, and the third? No, you want to hear... So it's like, you know, I expect it.
How do you see your own career going when it comes to the business side, like independent signing, partnerships, distribution deals only? You know what I mean? How do you see yourself in that? Have you like... kind of already had a blueprint mapped out in your head, and you're not going to stop until then?
Of course.
So
of course. The path of the narrow is the path of the success, basically. So, of course, you want to be straightforward with things. In my perfect world, I would finish my project under my label name, 13 label, and get a joint venture with a parent label. And... basically,
some sort of distribution deal or something.
Get my distribution through that label, and get the money to back it. But other than that, I will own my masters and things of that nature, my publishing, and build the right team around me and things like that. So I think everything is about generational wealth to make sure that my kids don't work. You know, I can't ever touch multi-millions of dollars and think that my kids can't go to school. You know, like that's a wild concept to me. Like that's and even if they don't want to go to school, I'm not saying it's everybody got to go, but I don't want them to have the option to be able to go. So, joint venture, ideally.
Yeah, that's like. I mean, that's the route that everybody's going. Like, we've had the conversations where it's like record labels might as well transition into distribution companies. You know what I mean? If they want to save themselves,
they're still hitting people that don't know nothing about
nothing. Still getting the mumble rappers. You're right.
Because it's the social media. Like, we didn't have this digital streaming years ago, which
where
is
you
why
can
I
go
was
right
like,
to the market.
Right.
Yeah.
Which means if we got this Instagram and social media platform where you got people like DistroKid and stuff like that can stream. I don't need a label.
Nothing's
I
out of
don't need
reach.
it. But to be honest, the backing and the name behind it is still a viable source right now. But I think eventually it's going to be disposable. Yeah, I do. People wise up.
Definitely.
Yeah, most definitely. Let me see. Where do you see, like, what are some of the things that you want to do in your career? I know owning your own masters and stuff, but I'm talking about outside of the music mainly, because you've already talked about setting up generational wealth and things of that nature. But what are some of those missions that you have that's like, when I get this amount of money, not only will I set up for my future, but I want to do this for the community or something of that nature?
Yeah, so philanthropy is huge as a part of me. I definitely want to give back to Jersey, give back to New York. And my main trajectory is to buy Howard back. We don't own.
Okay, I was about to say it's not owned by.
We don't own anything anymore. When I was there, we owned our auditorium, Crampton Auditorium. We owned our oldest dormitories, the Quad and the Annex, Drew and Carver. But now they're owned and monopolized by large contractor companies or whatever.
Investment companies.
And it's horrible because they're upping the rent and things like that when kids can't afford that type of stuff. And
when they need the education.
And we're literally losing our credibility as a school. Financial aid is people are stealing and things like that. So I want to help inwardly so that we can branch out outwardly and then help the greater whatever. But I definitely want to buy Howard back. That's a huge priority on my list. I want to get rap for what it can do for me right now.
Yeah.
I love hip hop.
Yeah.
I always love hip hop. Hip hop was in Brown Sugar like my first love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think you have an expiration date in it. I think
as always, yeah.
You come in, you get what you can, and you build
transition.
from that, and then you reach back and pull. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Lift as you climb. I'm big on, you know what I mean? If you can help someone else lower than you or like in your same position that you see yourself in, bring them up to that level so that they can continue to do it. Because every other demographic, Jews and whites and Africans even, like,
it's
you
not,
know what I'm
it's
saying?
not
They
even,
come back and they
it's
just
other
be
black
like,
people doing
I got you. African Americans, we have a problem, you know, with this crab in a barrel. I don't want to be a crab in a barrel. I want to be the crab that gets out the barrel and knocks the fucking barrel over, like everybody free. Like, now let's get out here and get this money. Like, it's enough money everywhere for everybody to eat.
So do you think, you know, recently there was some backlash for Kodak Black.
Yeah.
About the comments he made.
Yeah.
About the comments he made.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's time for black people as a whole to break the back of the opportunists? People who make opportunistic comments, who make opportunistic moves. I know I seek in my life to root out, identify all opportunists, and immediately make them suffer. You know? So do you think it's time to really, for us as a black culture, to see those people for what they are, stop my brother, my sister, and just really eradicate them?
Yes.
You know?
100%. And I also think that it's important that we start to force people to take accountability for what they do. Like, at this point, he thought that was his lane to say that. Like, he could have just said that. That's fine. But I believe that he wouldn't have fixed his mouth to say that if Nipsey was on this earth. And even if he would, that's another thing for us to be like, yo, first of all, this man was on pending trial for rape. When he was addressed about it, he never said, I didn't do it. He said, I don't want to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So certain things like that. And the OGs, I like how everybody's checking him and everything like that. But more specifically, I want people to check him for the misogyny bigger than anything. I think a lot of people are checking him out of respect for Nipsey, as they should.
That's true.
But everybody's approach is,
they're not
damn,
checking
why the
the
hell did
actual
he say
issue.
that? Why did he say that about Nipsey's girl? Instead of saying, why are you so misogynistic and chauvinistic towards Lauren London as an entity by herself? She's a woman first. Before she's Nipsey's woman, she's a woman. So it's like,
they're not attacking the root problem.
That's why he continues
Exactly.
to believe that he can do things. You know what I'm saying?
So I like what you said. I forgot who else said it, but somebody said that. And that brings me to my next question. Is it time that we identify problematic behaviors that are, you know, they were weaved into the culture by the same OGs that are checking him now? They're checking him now, but 10 years ago,
they were doing it.
You were doing this.
Right.
Or
yesterday you were doing
this.
You just didn't
I know what you're talking about.
How do we get to a point where not only are we checking bad behavior, but we're not doing bad behavior? Because, you know, monkey see, monkey do.
Right. I don't have the answers. I really don't. I want people to start, just as men, just black men, protect black women. Like, we are the most attacked ever. We are the least protected. We are the most vulnerable of all demographics. And I think it's time for men to reclaim their position in society, black men especially. I believe y'all are the prototype, the blueprint, basically the entire foundation of what everybody else wants to be but cannot. That whole movie Get Out is like, we have everything they want, but they can't have it. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why things are not being targeted for what they are. So I definitely think that needs to be done, but I don't know any approach on how to get it done. I genuinely don't know. People are going to be bozos, and they're going to be bozos, but Nipsey said we shouldn't get no attention.
We should watch what the real niggas react to, and if they don't react, we shouldn't react. Yeah.
But it's hard. It's harder said than done. I know for myself, because it's people that say wild stuff to me all day, and instead of being like, okay, I'm chill, I'm quick to say suck my dick loud. You know what I'm saying? So it's like...
It's hard.
Say it how you say it.
Suck my dick. That's exactly how I say
I
it.
feel that in my soul.
Yeah, in my soul.
Suck my dick.
Yeah, it's big. Definitely like that. Suck my dick, block me back. You know, those are two things that I say often.
You said suck my dick or what?
Block me back.
Yeah, block me back.
Even if you're not already blocking
like
me,
that.
block me back.
That's
I'm definitely
hard.
gonna block you.
Hashtag Lady London, block me back.
Yeah, that's hard. What I know you said when you went to HBCU, I mean, obviously you're like extremely pro black, and I know you're going to be doing a lot of work in just the black community alone. But what made you want to go like where you were like, I know I'm going to HBCU anyway? Like, what made you go that direction?
Go like pro black?
Not pro black.
Oh,
No. Yeah, that's an odd question to ask somebody. Like, no, but like, what makes you want to? Did you have like, were your parents like, were they giving you like our history and things of that nature that where you're like, I'm definitely going to HBCU?
No, honestly. So my high school I went to in New Jersey was, I think it was like 3% black people.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it was,
And that's where you graduated from too?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I went there all 4 years. And it's like, I don't know. I've always wanted to be closer to like my people. You know what I'm saying? And I think I took my first African American studies class as a freshman at Howard with Dr. Carr, who's like amazing. He's like world renowned, Dr. Carr. But he teaches you that you shouldn't feel guilty about speaking out or organizing or taking issue with the conditions of African Americans in society.
Yeah.
So it's like that whole thing. It was just super like enlightening for me and just eye opening. And not me being pro black doesn't make me anti white. It's just like I want to help the minority. So I want to help brown kids, not just black kids. Like it's Mexicans that's being separated from their families. It's Indians, all types of stuff. Our president is horrible. Like, so it's a lot of things within the community that needs to be fixed. It's just.
You did have that shirt that said "Not my president."
Definitely not my president. I gave it to my grandmother to wear. It was a lot of controversy. I wore that shirt to Mexico. It's a lot of controversy. Yeah,
but it was love then, right?
It was love
because
so initially it was love, but you know they don't read they didn't read in English, so they thought that I was like endorsing them.
Oh, and you
when
know
I was
what?
Going to the president, it said not my president.
And that was going to be my next question because like there's plenty of apparel out like that.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of wearing stuff like that because it's still got the face on it.
Right.
So it looks like you're pro. Like when I saw that shirt on you, I was like. For me, I was like, it would have went hard if it was Obama. It's like, this is still my president.
Yeah,
you know, something like that.
No, I get it. Especially somebody who doesn't speak English. And my first stares was all like, looking like this.
Yeah, like, you need to explain
but
something.
But I speak pretty good Spanish. I'm telling them, like, you know, like.
Oh, you speak pretty good Spanish?
Yeah, sorry. Okay.
Where you learn that from?
Decent. I'm Puerto Rican. Jamaican and Trinidadian, yeah. Okay. Yep.
Trinidad. Do they have like a festival, like parade and all that?
Yeah.
I've never been to none of them.
I mean, it ain't safe. It's all right.
I'm okay with that. They're a little bit more dangerous.
No, I'm not talking about a little bit. I'm talking about shootouts. It's not like.
Oh, really? I will skip those. I will not be at those events.
Yeah, straight shootouts.
Are you sure
Brooklyn,
they didn't think he was an orange?
On the Parkway in Brooklyn? Huh? I'm sorry, what is it?
Are you sure that they didn't think he was an orange on your shirt? Or very bright.
He is very
bright
orange.
Fella. He's a very Cheeto man or something. I don't know.
A hot Cheeto.
Oh, hot. He's like a pale hot Cheeto. You know how chocolate gets ashy afterwards? He's like an ashy Cheeto. Just ashy and bloated. Anyway,
lost myself in that.
All right, so I was scrolling through your Instagram, how I do every day, because I'm a huge fan for sure.
Thank you.
And I saw that Timberland had commented on one of your
I feel like more than one, right?
And Kehlani too.
Yeah.
So you've been working with some big names that you can tell us about.
Yeah. So Tim, I want a beat from him. We've been in talks. Hopefully, that works out. I love his production. You know me, I'm like real classic. I love classic
like
songs.
all the classics. Yeah.
But yeah, his beat patterns is crazy. He's an amazing producer. So I'm hoping to work with him in the future. Kehlani and I are definitely working on something. I have something for her project. She has something for mine. It's gonna be really good.
I'm really excited.
I'm excited as well. I honestly was very starstruck
Yeah.
I don't really I always told myself if it was not Jay-Z, I really probably won't get starstruck. But Kehlani is one of my favorite of the new age R&B people, just because she's just so down to earth. And you can tell in her music. And I've been to her concert before. She's just so.
So you've been able to meet her already, then, right?
No.
Okay.
I've never met her. We have studio sessions coming up and stuff like that. But
okay. I was just about to ask, are you doing everything actually live, or are you doing the email
I love
thing?
the whole classic, just really two people in the same studio, not sending the sessions to each other and all that. I think the organic vibe is cool.
Has it always been easy for you to jump into the studio with somebody that you never met and like lock into your creative bag easily?
No. It's still hard. It's still hard right now.
Yeah.
It's still hard. My people could tell you, I'd be like, we got to go through 70 beats before I like something.
Before you pick one.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then you still got to write it.
And then I still got to write it, right?
Yeah.
Which I write up with the beat off.
Really?
Because
And
I'm
then apply.
used to like
Same.
poetry. I write with
Exactly.
the beat off. So if I
Makes
listen
sense.
to it,
Exactly.
I know the flow. Mm-hmm. And I turn it off. Sometimes I do reference tracks where I say nothing. You see a lot of reference tracks. I'll be like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those go hard though. That's what the notepad is for. Like the voice notes.
For sure, yeah.
Those be going hard. Like you be playing them out loud. People be like, "What are you doing?
What are you saying? I
I'm
know what I'm
snapping
doing. Right.
snapping
Exactly.
right now.
I know what I'm
Like, yeah,
doing.
I'm snapping right now. But wait till this joint done. Though.
Wait till it's done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That was interesting that you said Kehlani, you got starstruck when she reached out to you, but Jay-Z, you feel like you wouldn't. Is that because he's been so a part of your life when it comes to musically? And
No, I said I would.
Oh, you would
I said,
be?
I said
Okay,
I'm not
got
usually
you.
starstruck for anybody except
but you're
for
saying,
Jay-Z.
got you. Okay,
But
I
Kehlani
thought you said
kinda
you
caught
wouldn't
me
be.
off
I was
guard.
like, damn, confidence
Nah,
through the
that
roof.
would be crazy. I've talked to so many, like, and there's so many of them that follow me, so many great artists that I have,
Yeah.
like, whatever. And I don't want to do no extra posting because I don't want it to be uncomfortable for them. But some of the greatest lyricists ever have all reached out and just, gave their salute to me. Mm-hmm. But I would really, I don't know what I would do if I met Jay-Z. I really don't know. And I know he's heard my music. This is what I know to be true, that he's heard my music. So it's like, it's a great feeling.
Do you feel like you may be a fainter?
I don't know what I'm capable of.
Okay,
It scares me almost.
Honestly,
It's like, I don't know.
It's like, is it tears? Am I going to faint? Am I going
is
to
it
jump up
I'm
and
just gonna-
down?
If I'm just going to sit there and just be like,
Yeah,
on
really
him
just
stuck,
don't
I don't
Yeah.
know. I
Yeah.
hope not, because it's going to be really slow of me to do.
If you could name three things,
Yeah.
what are the three things that you would say to a person that wants to, you were speaking on the Rubik's Cube, how you have to get your mindset right
Yeah.
and rebuild from the bottom up.
Yeah.
What are 3 to 5 things that you would say are, just so important in that process?
Knowing who you are as a person, first and foremost. Knowing what you will and will not tolerate. And then also being guided by principle and by faith and not swayed by popularity. That would be my top things. I think a lot of people are lost and they're looking for something, so they get a little bit of everybody in them. You know what I mean? And then it comes into being this horrible person. Like, I know Erykah Badu speaks about it in the interview where she says everybody's just frequencies. In this world, there's bad frequencies, there's good frequencies, and nobody's no different than each other. When you begin to start believing that you're not a frequency is when shit just goes away.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that everybody should just really find who they are
And like frequencies.
and be okay with that, and then surround yourself with like-minded individuals. So whether you're a bad frequency or not, if you're a bad frequency, don't try to be around good frequencies, because I'm gonna be honest with you can't change. I think dirt will rub off on white before white rubs off on dirt. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta be.
Heard you.
Y'all are so simple.
Heard you, sus.
Heard, noted. Excuse me, for the congregation, run that back one more time, please.
Get out of here.
Run that back one more time, please.
You really want me to run?
No, for real,
I
for
need
real.
you to run that
Put
back
a little
one more
sweat
time.
on your sweat on your forehead.
I think that dirt will rub off on white before white rubs off on dirt.
Amen.
So surround yourself with good people, good energy. Be the person that you would want to be, that you would want to be friends with, basically. And just be the same person all the time. Like, be that. If you want to be a Ninja Turtle, you better be that shit. Like, you just better be it. Like, just be it.
Yeah, you gotta
You
go.
built like one anyway.
Yeah. Oh, you look like one.
Shaped like one. Bald
Smell
head
like
like you. I saw you with that wig off. That waist train on your back.
Right.
Know what you shaped like.
You're crazy.
You said something earlier. It really caught my attention.
Yeah.
And I think it really needs to be spoke about. Something I don't like about the culture right now. You spoke about insecure women.
Yeah.
But I think it's insecure men as well.
Oh my God. I hate them.
Insecurity as a whole is a very ugly thing.
Nobody's talking about it though.
I heard this guy say, "Oh, I don't want my girl to be friendly. You want to murder her in the house? Or what do you want? You want her to stab you up in there? What's going on? What do you think about people who are insecure, trying to set the tone of the culture that you can't love people. You can't just be good to people.
I don't know where that narrative came from. I know that we all have our share of insecurities, which is fine. To an extent, it's fine, because you can't be thinking that you're this perfect person. We all have something that's like, nah, I ain't good right there. Like, yeah, whatever. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, when you deflect them on other people and tell people what to feel and how they should and should not feel about things, I think that's where things get skewed. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with treating somebody with human decency. There's nothing wrong with loving somebody. There's nothing wrong with any of that. Like, I don't know if I'm addressing your question the way you want me to, but I don't know. I think that people shouldn't tell people what to do. I think people should do what they want to do.
Because that's how you been moving.
Okay, just do what you want to do. So
do what I want to do.
At all times.
Right, exactly.
Since you've found like, you know, clearly you know a lot about like energies and frequencies and stuff like that. Yeah. When would you say you found that part in your life and you really started paying attention to it and making sure it was a part of your life? Like proper energy and frequencies.
Weird. I feel like I've been doing it my whole life.
You just never like focused.
I never really like said it out loud, but I've always been on some like I don't get a bad vibe from them. Like I don't. Even so much, it's crazy. When I was young, I remember being 14. I was in Jersey. I was in this place called Skate 22. It was like the skating rink or whatever. Man, that shit. I was in like a crowd, and I told my best friend like, something bad's about to happen. Like, I feel crazy right now. She's like, yo, relax. We just got in here. I was like, let's go. And I called my mom because I was like, you know, I was like, call my mom. She came to get us. And like, I think like 30 minutes later, somebody got shot in the head right where we were standing. And I was
crazy.
Like,
that's
it just
intuition.
be weird. It be weird
you've
stuff.
Always
like,
felt
and
it,
it's several things like that have happened since then in my life that it's just like
that made you be like, I need to make sure I pay attention to this.
Pay attention because I know that my stomach. I never get the wrong vibe about anything. Even in my relationships, I'd be like, I ain't gonna look, but I know. Look,
I got to keep you right here.
Yeah, because I already know you trying to play with my body, and I don't have time.
So you've always been a pretty intuitive person.
Very,
for sure.
very intuitive, and I'm glad that I've always stuck to my gut with that. Because a lot of people be like, I think you overreact, and I'll be like, I'm never overreacting. Yeah. With it.
And even if you are, it's like, hey, look, man, I've seen enough to know that I'm going with everything at this point. Yeah, like I'm gonna overreact.
Take any chances. Yeah.
Bet on yourself. Right. Shout out to lady. Bet on yourself.
And I'm a roulette player. Definitely bet on yourself. Bet on.
I did want to ask you that earlier. So you're a gambler.
Yes.
You are. How bad?
She said that glass. She was like, yes.
So
roulette. That is. You got to be a real gambler to like roulette.
Yeah.
Because
I like
that
roulette
shit is
because you either win big or you don't.
But you lose big
all
too.
or nothing.
Now,
You don't necessarily gotta lose big though. That's the thing. Everything you win is 35 times what you put down. You feel me? So if you're gonna put down,
I see what you're saying. Okay, I get it.
If you're gonna put down $10, you can win $350, or you can lose $10. It is what it is.
That's why it's addictive.
It's addictive. I mean, that's why I say for me myself, I prefer to play off my earnings. That's how I gamble.
Okay.
I play off the house money. So once I'm done with the house money runs out,
you put your money back
I
in
put
the
my
pocket.
money back in my pocket.
Yeah.
But I've been learning also to start pocketing every 100 past my house money.
Okay.
This is how I leave with some winnings.
Yeah. Because you don't want to come
betting all of it.
Damn, I'm up 7,000. Let's get it. And I bet my whole 7,000 because I came down with 1,000.
Yeah.
And then now I only got 1,000. I'm sad. I'm puppy dog face leaving out. But I'd rather be like, shit, now I got my 7,000, put 1,000 in my pocket. So I'm only betting off 6,000. But I really already came up 1,000. You know what I mean? It's strategic to everything. Yeah. I think it's always in life. Never come out in a negative. Even if it's break even, never come out in a negative for anything.
I'm a gambler. I play poker. We had a great gambling conversation.
We did, we gotta send her that. We gotta send her that clip.
I'm gonna see this crazy clip of D-Lay and Billy Sorrells. And D-Lay goes into it's called "Did You Miss Me" podcast, and he talks about his biggest gambling binge. Oh my god. How much he lost.
The most.
So I'm gonna ask you the question that gamblers don't ask each other. What's the most you ever lost?
I lost 7,000 before.
And you went in with how much? Years ago. You went in with 1,000, got 7, or you went in with 7?
No, I went in with my 7. I lost that 7.
The whole 7.
That's when I got this mantra about
got you.
Not.
This was all off the roulette table. You don't venture over to any other tables.
So I'm a blackjack girl, but blackjack money is very slow for me.
You're right, yeah.
So, but I'm cool with it. If I got time for the day, I go ahead and put my little chips into here and bust down Tatiana or whatever.
So you go to the casinos?
Yeah, I like the casinos. It's none in LA, which is good for me.
Because then you ain't got no
It's
reason
good
to
for me
stop.
because in LA they only got the table, so you can only play blackjack. So you lose a little $100, you lost your $100.
Vegas ain't nothing but what, 8 hours away?
Man, 3 hours.
Is that close?
Well, driving is 3 hours, 45 minutes for a $60 flight. I'm like, I might just do it. Yeah.
Also, people are really playing their days out to gamble over
Oh,
there.
of course. And Vegas, we go like it's nothing. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
Vegas is like nothing. Like it's nothing.
Well, I'm terrified to gamble, man. I'm just so
I'd
frugal.
be so mad. Even $10, I'm like, I'm tight.
The most I
I'm
put in was
pissed.
like 50 or 40.
I was OD up. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I was up when I lost 7,000. I was up in my life at the time.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
whatever, but I would never lose 7,000 right now. Not never.
You need this man. He's the most frugal person I know.
Really?
Hey,
But I put it in the if it's not
I respect it.
If it's not forwarding our mission, it's not getting spent.
I respect it.
You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what it is. It's just like, no, I need battery packs. Okay,
Yeah.
that's about 400. We cannot buy that. We can't. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I respect that.
Yeah.
I really do.
I blame AJ for everything. I say, I need this. Oh no, AJ told me I have to spend money on the brand. I have to spend money on what's going to further my life.
Okay.
Your closure's not going to do that.
Right. Oh man.
You know?
She said your closure. That's horrible. Why you taking away from her stuff?
Hey, be natural.
And then you go talk about her hair messed
You
up.
said be
not me.
natural.
You know my rule about women. Have whatever makeup you want. Wear a wig. Don't wear a wig. Do whatever you want. Just look good in it.
Do whatever you want.
I don't do it.
I like that.
Do whatever you want. I'm not here for that. Just look good in it. Because if you look like
good.
Big Bird, I'm going to call you Big Bird.
Lord.
You know it. That's my one rule. My shorty knows that. She knows.
You better get her closure.
Hey, let me tell you something. She better do something to get her closure. She better do something. She better do something to get her closure.
I'm sure she's not against
She
that.
can automatically get that close. She know that. But just saying, But just saying in general, it's working with AJ has taught me to be more frugal. I'm a Libra. I'm not frugal. I buy every
Are you
fucking
October?
September, late September. I buy every.
there's a difference between the months if you're at the same
yes.
time.
So
Oh
in
my
every
God.
sign, there's
You don't
these
even know.
half signs.
Yeah.
And there's like one, like almost like twins.
Like a cousin.
Like, hey, you're kind of cool. You're fucking psycho. This one over here, those late
That
Libras
part.
are pathological.
Speak on it, brother. Okay, get
Pathological,
searches.
Didn't I call
crazy
you a
liars.
liar earlier?
I'm not
The
that
October
one.
ones.
I'm just kind of like,
Give the
I'm the one who
service.
like to be in the middle. I'm like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Don't involve me in your bullshit. I don't really know. I'm going back over shopping over here. Leave me out of it.
What's your sign?
It's Cancer.
Cancer. I'm a Taurus. April Taurus.
Thank you.
April
Okay,
Taurus.
perfect.
Yes, that works.
The Sagittarius. Every time
Wait,
I say
what
Sagittarius,
Cancer
I feel like shit
are you
goes
in?
left.
June. Okay.
I'm June.
Every
yes,
time-
girl.
Oh.
Yes.
I was worried.
Sagittarius aren't,
It makes
Sagittarius
sense. I
aren't
love
lit now.
Sagittarius.
Yeah,
As far as the pussy.
What
I was
is
about
Don't
to
know
say
about
that's
that.
only sex.
I'm sorry, what?
That's it.
I'm a Sagittarius, but I was saying it feels like every time I tell somebody I'm a Sagittarius,
They be like,
shit goes left. They be like,
I do not
I'm
fuck
like,
with
damn.
Sag.
November or
Like,
December?
December 9th.
But you know what?
See what I'm talking about?
But this is the truth about Sagittarius, though. I've dated a few. They are people who can be great, though. Because they're gonna fuck with themselves.
They're
and
too
you're this
nonchalant.
like as a Cancer, you're not gonna move. If somebody tells you you're not gonna be famous, watch me, bitch.
Yeah.
Watch
That
me.
part.
You don't move. Sagittarius, they don't move. They can be. He's a little crazy, you know. He does not really.
you don't have to tell me
emotional.
about moving. I'm a Taurus. Literally.
You.
Cannot. I will not budge.
I'm weak.
For nothing.
No, stubborn as fuck, Taurus.
Very.
Me, I won't.
I'm
stay
working
still
on it. I'm
personally.
working on it
I'm
though.
weak.
But look,
Slowly.
we appreciate you coming through to the
Thank
3
you guys for having
podcast.
me.
You got to get up out of here. So, go ahead, tell everybody where they can find you. I'm sure they know exactly who you are, but you know.
All right, it's Lady London, and you guys can find me on every social media platform. Well, I guess Twitter and Instagram at Lady London with 3 N's. My name is not with 3 N's though; it's just regular Lady London.
Just so I can get that @name off.
Yeah, just because that somebody stole like a
Just
little
so you
Asian
get that
girl.
ad
She
name
won't let
off,
me
yeah,
have it.
that's
I
all.
DM'd her. She won't let me have it. Anyway, okay.
You
So
might have to cut that check at some point.
yeah,
Yeah,
eventually. It's okay. But yeah, thank you guys for having me so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you
Shout
for
out
coming
Raleigh. Shout out the whole North Carolina. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, this is the 3 Oak Podcast. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Everything. The 3 Oak Podcast. Peace.
Peace.
Later.
You just watched well, we could start over if you'd like.
Hey!
You just watched the 3 Oak Podcast instead of listening to it.
You just watched the 3 Oak Podcast. Okay.
Thank you for watching the 3 Oak Podcast.
If you like what you just seen, you should hit the subscribe button.
Twice.
It's right. Look, it's right there, bro. It's right
They'll
there.
see it, right?
It's right
see
there.
it, right? Yeah.
It's right there.
Yeah. I think they see it, but I'm not sure.
from there.